Okay, and from here we'll move towards writing this to the Excel sheet, writing it back to the Excel sheet, and then I'll provide some assignments and a few of the problems that people normally face while working with real-time scenario. You can take that as an assignment and work upon that. And you know, if you're trying today, then that's fine. Tomorrow we can discuss the solution. Otherwise, next session we can discuss the solution. Okay. So let's talk about. Okay, my God. Hello? Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so give me 1 minute. People are facing some problem. Give me this 1 minute. Normally this doesn't happen. What I'll do is, otherwise I'll take a WebEx or something, WebEx or a Zoom online meeting, and you can use that maybe. If you are facing some problem, give me just 1 minute. Okay. Let me know if you are able to view my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's do one thing. Now that we have, I'm sorry about that, guys. So what I'll do is, I guess, there is some people are facing, Arun was facing some problem with this freeconferencecall.com. This is what I use as a paid tool to, like, maintain all the meetings. So I'll try to take some other services if it is not working out or something. Okay. So we are using this Excel sheet as a collection, which is present in the desktop employee salary.xls, which is this one. Okay, and we are going to write it back to this particular row only, the text lab row only. So what we'll do in the loop end, at this loop end stage, we have we have calculated the text of, right, but still not connected. So using laptop to connect. Can you start recording? Yeah, Arun, I am recording. I'm not sure why you're not able to attend the. No, I'm not able to hear. You are able to hear me? Are you able to hear me, Arun? Okay, fine then. That is fine. So I'm not able to hear you. So if you are asking any questions, you can ask me after the class. So I'll be happy to answer you. I can call you or you can call me after the class. Okay, and we'll see why it is happening. Okay. So at the loop end, what we'll do after everything is finished, once we have calculated the tax of each of the employee, what we'll do is we are writing it back to the collection. Anyway, we are populating the collection through this. So let me do one thing. Let me just run this and a little bit fast. Okay. So if you go to the collection here, in the current value, you can see like we have written all the salary information. We have already written all the salary, all the tax slab information, right? Now we will be writing this whole collection to the Excel sheet back, okay? So that this row will be populated correctly. So, okay. Now, so where should we write this? Where exactly should the Excel write stage go after the after the loop end or here? Where exactly should we should start writing to Excel sheet? It will be obviously at the loop end, because when the loop ends at that particular time, when the all the rows in the collection is getting iterated and all the output text slab is getting populated with the new value. So when the loop ends, it means that employee collection is having the data, whatever we want to be written back to the Excel sheet. So we're writing after the loop end stage only. So I'm deleting this link for now. And so obviously we'll be using action stage to writing it back to the Excel sheet, right? So here we are using these three stages to reading data and getting it to collection. Again, we'll be using some action stage to write it back to the Excel sheet from the collection. We'll take all the value from the collection. So action 1, what we'll be doing is we'll rename it to write collection data. Here we'll be taking all the data from the collection and writing it back to the Excel sheet. And obviously we'll be selecting MS Excel VBO and here write collection. There is a page called write collection. Using this we'll send the data back to the Excel sheet. So handle, we already have the handle, so we'll reuse the handle. Workbook name also, we already have the workbook name. We'll drag and drop this. So all of this handle, workbook name, these are created in the output stage of all these stages. Create instance, open workbook, all of these stages it is created. So I'm using that as an input here. Worksheet name, sheet 1 only, because we will be writing it back to the same Excel sheet. Collection is from which collection you want to write. If you hover over here, it will say the collection containing the data which should be written to the worksheet. So we'll be writing to the employee collection. We'll be taking data from the employee collection to employee. Cell reference is, from which cell you want to write. That is the, cell reference. So as we have already discussed, you can put either A1 and true or A2 and false. So A1 is the first and A2 is the second. So you can put A1 here and it is as true. So it will overwrite everything. It will take the whole collection. It will take the whole collection and paste it to the Excel sheet, right? It will include the header as well, the starting cell A1, the first, left top first cell. This is A1. And in the output, we don't have anything. All of this we need for taking the data from the collection to the Excel sheet, right? So what else needs to be done for this purpose? We have written the collection. What else do we need? After writing the collection to the Excel sheet, we need to save the Excel sheet. We need to press Control S or save the Excel sheet. So let me take action, stage here, and MS Excel VBO, and save workbook. So there are a lot of stuff. Save current workbook. We can save the current workbook here. So there is no input and output here. Save current workbook. There is also something called as save current workbook as. Okay. So what you can do is you can rename the like Excel sheet. When you go, you can do save as, right? So this is something like that. Save current workbook. Or there will be, okay. Let me just go through this, then I'll show you another way to see this. So save current workbook. There is no inputs and outputs needed. We are just saving the workbook. After writing, we are saving the workbook. After that, once we save it, then what this should be done? We are going to close it. We are going to close the workbook. So action stage, double click, then MS Excel VBO, and here close current workbook. So in the close current workbook also, there is nothing, only handle needs to be provided. Close current workbook. So again, don't make it the WB or something like that in whenever you're working with a real-time system, because people need to understand. You should design workflow not to be understood by machines, but to be understood by people. Okay. So close current workbook, then use handle here. So we are using handle here so that this handle which is attached to the Excel sheet, that will be destroyed in this step, and we can connect it back everything. Okay. So we are doing very simple stuff here. After this processing is done, we are writing the collection. We are taking all the data from the collection and writing it back to the Excel sheet. Once it is done, we are saving it to the Excel sheet. Then we are closing the workbook, and we are just reaching the end state. So this is one of the way that we are saving, then closing. This is like this. So either you are writing something ABC. So either you can first save, file, save, then ABC, for example, save, then close it. This is one of the way. Or if you are going to write something, first you close it, then when it asks for you to save, then save it. So there are two ways. Either you save and close, or close and save. Anything is fine. So this way we are first saving and then closing. So otherwise we can replace this two stage with a single stage. So let me show you that. Drag and drop an action stage, double click, and MS Excel VBO, and here, okay. Here you can use close workbook. Instead of close current instance, you can do close workbook. What is this? This is like close and then save. You got my point, right? So here we'll provide handle and whatever workbook name you want to save with. See here, the name of the workbook which should be closed. So we already have the workbook name produced in a previous step. In open workbook, the output will be produced as workbook name. And save data, so I'm going to close it. So when I close it, do you want to save it? Then obviously we want to save it so we can make it true. So in the output there should not be anything. So this thing. Okay, here we are closing the workbook because the action is close workbook, but while closing we are also saving the data. So either you can like first do save then close the current workbook, or you can use a single action which says close and save, and you can connect write collection to here to here. Okay, you can try this at home. So let's run this and okay, let it run. So Arun, if you will be having any doubts in between, you can just ping to the the chat window. Okay, you get completed. You can ping it to the chat window. I'll be taking I'll be reading your question from here, and then I'll be replying you back in the class if you have any. Okay, so we have successfully returned to the Excel sheet. So we can reset it, or let's go and check the employee salary. You can see here everything is written here. Okay, so everything here is written back to the Excel sheet. Okay, any doubts here in the Excel sheet writing data to the Excel sheet? I'm going to delete this in case if I want to show it sometime later. But any doubts here where we wrote the data? Okay, can you please explain what is handle's purpose here? So see, handle is just an instance. Okay, whenever we are creating this handle, this is just an keeping track of the instance. In the first create instance stage, we are doing an output of the handle. And let's see what Blue Prism says what handle is. An integer, handle is an integer which can be used to identify the created instance in subsequent actions. Okay, so we are creating an instance here. Here in this case, we are creating an instance of the Excel sheet. Okay, so it's like this. So whenever you are referring to anything, so for example, let's say there is one Excel sheet emp salary.info, right? And first thing, I am reading this Excel sheet. I'm reading this Excel sheet. Secondly, I'm trying to write some data. Third thing, I'm adding one new sheet to the Excel sheet and do some operation. So how does Blue Prism know that you are doing this reading, writing, and then adding a sheet to employee salary.info only? How does Blue Prism know? Think about it. Because we are not specifying this Excel sheet in every stage. Are we specifying that we are performing on the same Excel sheet? No. So we need to tell Blue Prism that we are working on this particular Excel sheet, employee salary info.excel sheet, right? So for that, we'll be creating an instance of this Excel sheet. Once we create an instance, we need something to refer to that instance, right? And that purpose handle is we are using handle. And the handle will be using in all the subsequent actions, whatever you do to the Excel sheet, handle will be used that I am working on this particular Excel sheet in the subsequent action. That is the only purpose of handle. And whenever we are deleting here, for example, see, close current workbook. We are providing handle here. Why? Because we are closing the current workbook, and maybe it needs which exact Excel sheet you are closing, and it will not use after that. So it is closing this particular Excel sheet, so it is using that handle to refer to close the Excel sheet. Do you understand what handle is? It's just a reference to the Excel sheet instance. We are creating an instance to work upon the Excel sheet, handle will refer to that in all the subsequent actions. See here, we are opening workbook. Which workbook you are opening and all of that, whatever instance you have created here. We have created an instance of the Excel sheet, right? This handle. So we'll use in all subsequent actions. See here, we'll use the agent input. Get worksheet collection, we'll be using the agent input here. Then write to collection, we'll be using that input. So handle will be used as an input in all subsequent action that is being done in that particular Excel sheet instance. Okay? Any doubts on the? Okay. Thanks. Okay. So, okay, I forgot something I wanted to tell you. Right collection data. Okay, two things we are going to check later is that, this will be maybe around two weekends or something. What I will explain to you is that all of this action that we have, write collection, close current workbook, open workbook, get worksheet collection, all these are what? One pages in the VBO. For example, let's go and see get worksheet collection. Okay, let's see how does it actually working. How internally get worksheet collection is working. How it is taking all the data from sheet 1 of the Excel sheet and writing it to the collection. Let's see. So to see that, you have to go to the VBO because MS Excel VBO we have imported, right? So VBO is Visual Business Object. So obviously that will be under object only. So if you go here, you'll find the MS Excel VBO, right? So let's open it up, and all of the action that we have used, all of these action that we have used, all of these are one page. All of this, whatever you see, these are one page. Okay. So if you go to VBO, let's see if we can, because it has a lot of things. Get worksheet as collection. Okay, here. So you can see here, get worksheet as collection. Behind the scene, this is what is happening. Okay, whenever you are using, worksheet as collection, this is what is happening here. It is coming from a start. Then, this is new page, instance and workbook. So double click on this page. It is passing handle and workbook name and the output nothing. So whatever you are passing from the whatever you are passing from the here handles and workbook name, here we are producing the workbook name, right? And
we are not
we
able
are
to see
using that in the sorry.
We are not able to see your screen.
I'm what? I didn't get you.
We are not able to see your screen.
You're not able to see my screen?
Yep.
I have shared it. Okay. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, so I'm not sure what is happening. I have to seriously take the, a new connection, it seems. Otherwise, it is not going to work like this. So I'll take some new connection, like the Webex or something. Webex or Zoom.es. There is some problem with this today. It seems. We didn't face it previously. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, I'm reconnecting. Give me 1 minute. I'll reconnect. Hello, are you able to view my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry guys, a lot of disturbance today. Normally this doesn't happen. So I'll find some way to resolve all this. And so I don't have this power backup at my home. So and I have this Airtel internet. So whenever power goes up, it takes around 3 minutes to reboot. And again, some issue with the this tool that we are using for conference. So I'll take Webex as the conferencing tool and we'll see how that works. And I'm not sure what to do about the internet. I'll find some way. Okay, so yeah. So what we are doing here is get worksheet collection. This is getting executed behind the scene where it is calling another page called check instance and workbook. So this is a page symbol, okay? This is like whatever this is a page state. So it will be somewhere, okay. Okay, this object Arun, so we got here from here. Let me just tell you. This object, this object is present in the Object Studio only. So we went to object. So object is something we have not talked about, but I'm just giving you some idea about how MS Excel video, whatever we import, how that actually works. So double click on that MS Excel video object here. So we'll talk more about this. This is just a brief introduction that I'm giving you. And here a lot of pages are there, and all these pages. This is what I'm referring to one page here. Okay, this is called a single page. All these pages are getting used as called action in the Process Studio. So get worksheet as collection is okay. Wait, get worksheet as collection is this one. Okay, this is the either you can select from the drop down here, or you can scroll down right and left and then find your actual action. This one is getting used internally, right? Get worksheet as collection is being called internally, and This is what it is. Okay, this is, and I don't want to go deeper inside this because there are a lot of stuff. There is something called at code stage where actual programming is written here. So all of this code executes when you do that. So what does it mean? When we say that you don't need to write much of the code when you use Blue Prism, it doesn't mean that Blue Prism doesn't use code. Anything that happens automatically inside a desktop application or web browser, a large amount of programming code runs within that. So you are not writing the code, that is fine, but Blue Prism itself is converting, taking whatever you are providing as input and writing the code on behalf of you. Okay, and that code is present here. See, this is the code that Blue Prism writes for you, and it is getting executed. So I'm not going to explain what this code means currently, but in future I'm going to explain few of the coding, what exactly is happening behind the scene and what this code does, and I'll explain you line by line. Okay. So there is no programming required for this. It's just that I'm going to explain it to you. And people who are solely developers, because there are a few people here in this group who are at a senior level. So people who are solely developers, they can choose to learn this kind of programming languages so that they can extend the feature in a very large manner. So for example, you are getting this worksheet as collection, and you want to change the way it gets the worksheet to correction, or you want to change the core properties of Blue Prism. So in that case, what you need to do is you need to come here and change the code here. So basically, we don't change the code here. We create a new collection. We can create a duplicate here, and it will create get worksheet as collection copy. Then we can change whatever code we have here. And whatever you want based on your need, you can change your code here, maybe add few other steps, and then you can use this particular action, this particular page as an action in the Process Studio. So this is something I'm going to explain to you after around 2 weekends or something like that, towards the end of this training, where I'll be telling you how you can change the core properties of the Object Studio, MS Excel VBO, or POP3 SMTP, MS Word Video, how to change the core properties and how to rewrite the code so that you can reuse the functionality. You can reuse the same functionality, but above that, you can, write the same level, you can write few of the code. So I'm deleting this for now, or I close and discard the changes. Okay, so we are going to talk in detail about the MS Excel, VBO and different pages that we have, and how you can extend the whatever applications we have in MS Excel VBO, how we can extend that, and on top of that, we can write more features from our side. We'll talk in details about that. Okay. There is something else I wanted to discuss, but I just forgot. Okay, so I'll tell you something very important. I want to talk about this particular one. So I'll talk about that. Okay. Now, so you're clear about the Excel sheet, right? You're clear about the Excel sheet. So because I'm going to provide you some assignments now. If you're okay. So here I can, I'll upload this assignment to the group. Similarly, the last week when I provided an assignment, this assignment also I'm going to write it here and upload it to the Excel sheet. Upload it to the Google Drive, the same Google Drive that we'll be using. So the assignment is based on the Excel sheet. So probably I'll provide you 2 assignments. I'm not sure if you will be able to work on the second assignment, but this one should be easy. So what the assignment is, we have 3 sheets here. One is, let's say, name it as people, and second sheet is married, and third sheet is unmarried. Okay, and here we have name of the person, and if he is married or not married. marital status, and third is maybe from which city he is from, he or she. Okay, so this is the input. Okay, this is the input present in the people sheet. So name is, for example, anything is there. Name 1, for example, name 1, name 2, name 3, and name 4. These are the 4 people who are there. And let's make person 1 so that okay. And let me just save it out, then I'll explain the assignment picture. And this is person 2 and person 3, person 4. And marital status can be Y or N. So Y for they are married and no for they are not married. And city is, you know, whatever. So Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and I'm not sure. Bangalore again. So what I want you guys to do is, if the marital status is yes, then you can copy, you should copy the name and city only, not the marital status. If the person is married, then copy name and city to married column, sorry, married sheet. And if the person is not married, where the marital status is N, copy the name and city to the unmarried sheet. So it should be done automatically. So at the end of the Excel sheet, at the end of your process, married should be populated with ideally name and city, and people who are married, who are person 1 and person 3. So this should be the output, person 1 and person 3, and wherever city they are from. Okay, this should be the output that should be populated to the married Excel sheet, married sheet here. However, the unmarried should be populated with all the list of people who are not married and their city. Okay, so this is something you have to do. So if you are able to do today, then that's fine. Otherwise, you can solve this and come back in the next weekend, and we can discuss about the solution. Any doubts here? In the assignment, any doubts? Fine, right? Okay. So this is one. And another one that I want to talk about is another assignment, and that is a problem that people face in real time. That is a problem I am talking about. Someone who has someone who has been working in Blue Prism, and it was one of the scenario that he wanted to do in his work when he was working on Blue Prism. So I want to give you that scenario so that you can work upon that and come back with the solution. Okay. And that is, so for that, actually, you need to go through another one. Okay, let me talk about that assignment. One is, that merit thing, whatever I told. Assignment 2 is, I had listed the assignment 2 here. This one. This is the, assignment 2. So I'll upload this to the Google Drive. So in assignment 2, what happens? An Excel sheet is there with a list of files with complete path. Okay, so just understand this. All of you are able to view the screen, whatever I'm sharing, right? What document?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is an Excel sheet with a list of files with complete path. So for example, there's an Excel sheet like this, and a list of files with complete path. So when I say complete path, it means something like this. So for example, here random.txt is there. So let me copy the path here, and let's name it as path, for example. This is the name of the header, and copy as path. Okay, we'll obviously make it as normal. Okay, so an Excel sheet will be, I'll be providing you an Excel sheet which will contain multiple records like this, and there will be like a lot of records. Okay, this is just two. There will be a lot of records. For example, D drive. Inside D drive, there is something called new.csv, and inside E drive there is something called, for example, custom.doc and all of that. Okay, so the file format can be anything: random.txt, csv, doc, and you'll get the complete, you'll get the complete path of the file. Okay, so this is the Excel sheet that I'll provide you, or you can create, because me providing you will not be useful. So let me say paths. Okay, so you have a Excel sheet with all the paths, full path of the Excel sheet, F, D, drive, this, all. Okay, this is just a scenario. Okay, I'm not giving you exact data. This is just a scenario, and this problem people have faced while working with Blue Prism. Okay, this is a very good scenario. Now you have all this path. Now what I want you to do is, so all these paths need to be searched in another folder. So this path, what you should do is, you should take this path from Excel sheet, you read all of this path one by one, and search in another folder. For example, in the in the F drive test folder. Okay, in the F drive test folder, you want to search it. So F test random.txt, is it present here? Yes, it's present here. So in the F drive test random.txt is present in this folder. So what you should do, if it is present, you should write it to a third directory. For example, create a new folder called output folder. If it is present wherever you are searching, whichever folder you are searching, if that is present, then write it to a third folder called output folder. Again, text.txt. This is also present in here. Okay, then again automatically write it to output folder. Okay, wherever you create it. Then it takes new.csv. In the D drive, I don't have a D drive. So anyway, in the D drive, if this file is present, if it is present, write it back to the output folder in the F drive. In the E drive, if custom.doc is present somewhere here, then write it back. If it is not present, don't write it back. Okay, only any file which is present in that specific folder, if it is present there, then write it to a third output folder. Otherwise, just skip that row and go to the next. Okay, did you understand the requirement here? Anything you want to discuss here, I can discuss. Or if it feels too difficult for you, whatever, you can let me know. Okay, so just a few hints here. Like the one that I'm talking about, writing. Okay, so two things I'll discuss here. Two things which we have not talked is how will you get all file names from a folder. So for example, I'm telling you that you will take this data from the Excel sheet and check in a folder if it exists or not. So how will you check in a folder if it exists? That is something I'm going to tell now. And the second thing is how will you write it to the folder 3. If it is everything is fine, if it is present, how will you write it back? So for that, actually, there is a video that we have not talked. I'll just explain a little bit about that. So assignment 7th or something. So For file operation, you have to import a VBO called this. Okay, so we are going to use this VBO later on, but you should not just rely upon me that I'm going to talk about a VBO, because VBO can be multiple. This list of VBO that you have, that VBO can be more in the future. Blue Prism can provide you more VBO, and there are some VBO which we will not discuss because that is not in the scope. But still, you may face some work in while working it with a real-time environment. So what I want you guys to do is you should be able to, pick up any VBO and start working upon that. So for example, MS Excel VBO we imported, we started working upon that. So for example, there are other VBOs also. So go to File, Import. I'm not sure if we need to import that or if that is an internal VBO. Okay, we need to import that. BP Object Utility File Management. Okay. So this is the VBO that we are going to use for file management. For example, create a new folder or automatically get all the files from a folder, or delete a folder, delete some files from a folder. All of this stuff that is related to file, folder, everything will be done through file management. So this assignment is is related to file management. Obviously, I'm going to discuss this answer in the next class. But what I want you guys to do is that try to use a new VBO by yourself. Try to use this new VBO that you are going to import by yourself and see how that works for you. Okay? They are the two stuff that you can use. This is one of the stuff. Also, the collection that we have discussed. We have discussed about collection a lot, right? So try to gather some data by importing collection manipulation. Okay, file management and collection manipulation. Just go through that. We are going to talk in future classes. We are going to see a lot of applications of these VBO, collection manipulation, file management. We are going to see a lot, but again, we cannot see all of the features. For example, here in the VBO, when we saw about the VBO, in the MS Excel VBO, for example, you see here there are lists of items. There are around, I'm not sure how many, 25 or 30 number of action we have, but how many we have discussed about, maybe 5 or 7, something like that. So in our use case, whatever will come, we'll discuss that as an input. There are few of the
So, Prem, this is Gitika. So, all these VBO, does the help menu explain things that what VBO does, what it is used for? Can we get that information from there? So the help file, does that explain what VBO is used for, which which files, and what is the functionality that covers in that VBO? So can we get that information from there?
Okay, so when you talk about VBO, all the VBO are self-explanatory. Are you talking about this?
No. So the one that we import, the import file. Yeah.
No. So the VBO, most of the VBO are self-explanatory. So if you go to Blue Prism Limited and VBO here, so calendars is for basic, any calendar operation. OLED TV is for Oracle database. SQL Server is to connect and get data from SQL Server. Okay, so most of these are Okay, I request you to upload with some good quality, so we'll get good one download. Yeah. So I'll upload this video, and I'm really sorry if you are facing some issue today, because I understand that we disconnected few times, and I'm not sure if current will go off sometime or not. But I will take this a good service provider of this, like Webex or something, and we'll discuss this. We'll take these classes through something new. Okay. Yeah. So coming back here, so all of this are like whenever. See, most of this you may use or you may not use. Okay, it may happen that it is used for some scenario, it is not used for some scenario. It is, important to have a basic understanding, but it may happen that, as I said, based on the requirement only, you will be using this. But the most common ones you will be always used is the MS Excel VBO is something very widely used in the industry because a lot of the manual tasks that is happening in the industry, those are done through MS Excel. They maintain a record and all of that stuff. So that is something you need to be good at MS Excel. One thing you need to be very good at is collection manipulation because see, we'll be storing a lot of data through collection only because collection is a data structure which stores multiple data like 1,000 employee record or 1,000 students information and all of that stuff. So it may be required to get a lot of functionality on the collection, how to delete collection, copy few rows, don't copy few columns and all of that stuff. So you need to be good at collection manipulation. Again, one thing, if we are working upon files a lot, for example, if there is a project where you need to copy files automatically from one server, put it in another active location and all of that stuff, then you need to have good knowledge in file management. And apart from that, this utility general, we can see about. But others are very task specific. Others, for example, OLEDB. So if there is a specific requirement that you need to execute some SQL query in the Oracle database, that case only you need Oracle DB. Okay. Or for example, encryption. We want to encrypt few data. Anyway, we'll talk about encryption later on. And environment, all of this we'll talk about encryption environment. And then again, image manipulation. So image manipulation is you want to perform some operation on the image. So all of these are again task specific. JSON. So if you want to work upon the JSON. So what is a JSON? JSON is like JavaScript object notation. They look like key value pair. So that is again another topic. And there will be very rare instance where you will get a specific task. So for example, if someone is asking you to work upon Oracle DB, then you need to understand this and see how it works and all of that stuff. What we are going to do is we are going to cover many of this, whatever is important, and we'll stress more on the most commonly used one, collection, then file manipulation, then general one. We'll see examples of POP3, SMTP, MS Excel, MS Word, how to convert Word to PDF, all of that stuff we'll see. But few of the examples, few of the video that will not discuss that, and if you get any requirement, then you can import and explore that. And again, the list of video is not the end here. It may happen that every time Blue Prism is working upon video, and there are few of the other video that is also present in the Blue Prism portal that you can download, and you can again write your own video here. And Blue Prism can publish more video which will be available for download in the future. So the list of video doesn't end here. It can be anything. It can be anything. So today you are working upon Word. So there it will come for PDF. It will come for some other file format. You're working upon JSON. So it will come for how to manipulate XML data. Again, a lot of stuff. This can be extended to hundreds of items. So it is not feasible to. God, I'm sorry, I got, you're able to hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
We can hear you.
Yeah. But actually, my power went off again, and I'll find this some solution to you, for this by tomorrow. Because this is happening a lot. Normally, my power doesn't go out, and I stay somewhere where I cannot take this one power backup or something. Anyway, so give me just 3 minutes, and you'll be able to view my screen. It will be frozen now. So what I was talking is, we'll talk about the most important ones, and I'll provide some assignment so that you can explore few of the video by yourself. And if you're not able to do that, then we'll surely discuss about that. Okay?
We are not able to see your screen, even though it's
Yeah, I understand that. Give me just 2 to 3 minutes, okay? So what we'll do is,
we could go.
yeah. Tell me.
Can you go through a couple of examples around collection, manipulation, and other stuff?
Yeah. Sure. We'll do that. As I'm telling you, so collection, manipulation, and all, we'll discuss a lot in the future. Example also, we'll use a lot of collection, manipulation. And this assignment that I have provided you, this also includes, few of the features. So what I want you guys to do is just explore few of the steps. I'm with you guys. I'm going to explain you in future, and we'll discuss this assignment answer in the next class. But these are the kind of situation you are going to face when you work for a real, project. No one will be there to help you, and these are the kind of assignment that will be given as a sub module. So the assignment 2 that I have provided you, this can be a part of your large project. So what you will do when you face such a situation? There will be few video which you have not explored. No one has taught you. So you have to figure it out by yourself that time. So practice this. If you're not able to do, if you are able to or not able to, that is fine. I'm going to explain this to you, and we can compare the efficiency of our work, how you have solved the problem, how I am solving. Okay? And yeah, surely we are going to see a lot about collection. And if possible, then I'll provide you more assignments if you want to work upon the collection manipulation, and we can discuss the solution, how it works out. Okay?
Yeah, thanks.
But did you understand the... Yeah.
Sorry. Prem, are you going to show some small POC type environments as well to us?
POC type of environment, I'm not sure. Till now, it's not there. So there will be few projects which we are going to do when we do about the web application automation. But again, it is not going to be a POC. Okay. If you want, I can work upon something. So it is going to take some time, and I can show you that. But again, it is not going to be a full-fledged project which includes everything. But see, in this whole training, you are going to see examples which will implement each of the module of the Blue Prism. For example, an example which implements stages, example which implements work queue, exception, and all of that. This is the way I want to finish this training. But including everything in large project, I have not done that yet. So that is not something which is present in my local laptop, and I'm not sure if I can share my work computer. But I'll try to do something, which becomes a use case. For example, I can take some example from by taking inspiration from some real-time scenario, and I'll try to show something. Okay.
That would be great, actually. Thank you.
Yeah. So, just 1 minute. So, you understood about the requirement that I was talking about, right? The whatever assignment that I am talking about here, both the assignments you understood, you'll be able to, you understood what needs to be done. Let me know if you have any query. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me connect to the... Okay. So let me share this. Okay, so all of this review, as I told, whatever is important, you can see that. So today we'll see about another video called POP3 SMTP. We'll see how to send automated email and all of that stuff. We'll see about that. And yeah, that's it about this review stuff. So again, a lot of the video will be available for download in the Blue Prism portal. And Blue Prism may publish few video later on. And so one thing is that if there are, in your Blue Prism portal, you will not be able to see any, in my BP tool, I'm not able to see import in file menu. Oh, import will be there for everyone. You have to go to file and then import. This option should be there for everyone. It's a very generic option. This is this file, okay? In the main window, in the main Blue Prism, file that import. This is the import. It should be there for everyone. Check this. This is a like basic feature. Otherwise, I can just access your like computer and see what is happening. Okay, so now that we are done with this, so I'll upload these assignments like today to the Google Drive, and you can work upon that. For this, I'll just write whatever is needed. Also, there will be a scenario of something called nested loop. So do you know what a nested loop is? You can try to solve this problem using nested loop, see if it works out for you. So a nested loop will be something like this. Let me just close this. A loop inside a loop is called a nested loop. So yeah, you are able to view my screen, right?
Yes.
So a nested loop, you can just try it out. For example, there is a collection here, collection 1. There is a collection like collection 2 here, right? So in this collection, for example, there is a field called field 1, and here there is a field called field 2, for example. Okay, and here I have added. We have not assigned. Let's assign it a number, and let's add 1, 2, and then 56 here, and whatever you want to add. Just a basic this one. And in this collection, we have, for example, a few of the numbers here. 1 to 100. Not 1 to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4. 23, then 110, and all of these integers, all of these numbers are there in this collection. So what I want is, I want to, for example, find out, in the collection 1, check in the collection 1 what data is present in the collection 1. Search this in collection 2. Okay, so for example, 1 is present in collection 1, and I want to search this first row in collection 2. Okay, 1 is present. Then if I want to write that to collection 3, whatever row are common between these two collections, if I want to write that to a third collection. So how will I go about solving a problem like this, two collections? So that is something you can use, something called nested collection. Okay, and this will be discussing, I want you guys to just go and explore a little bit, but we'll talk about this. We'll see a lot of good examples. In fact, in this scenario where from one Excel sheet I'm searching another folder, I'll be showing you how you can use the nested collection. So what happens in a nested collection is there will be two collections. So there will be two loops. Obviously there is two collections. There will be two loops. In the loop start, for example, we are like looping collection 1. So what will happen? When it loops the collection 1, it will go through each of the row of collection 1. So for example, it is firstly in the first. Okay, it contains the value 1. Now I want to search 1 in the whole collection. In the collection 2, I'll check where 1 is. Here it is there. Yes, that is fine. Otherwise here, and everywhere I'll check the collection 2. So what do I need here? I also need to loop through collection 2 here. So again, I'll get another loop stage here. And in this loop, maybe I'll loop through collection 2 here. Okay. And some calculation here. If it is present in collection 2, some decision stage, for example. Some decision stage. If it is present, then do something. If it is not present, then, do something. And maybe you will like connect. If it is yes, then something. If it is no, then something, and something like this. Okay. These kinds of loops are also possible. Okay. We can put a loop inside a loop. Okay. This you can consider a case of nested loop. You got my point, what I'm trying to explain here. Okay.
So, Prem, does the as you said that nesting is like you create loops under loops under loops. So, when you create a number of loops, so is it does that properties of that loops get inherited with the main loop?
Yes, yes, yes. So what will happen is, so in the collection 1, what is there? In the collection 1, when the loop is starting, the first row is coming. You know, right, how a loop works? So the first row came and the first row got executed here. Then loop end 1. Then when loop end 1, it will again go to loop start. The second row will execute. Then the third row will execute. So, for example, the first row is executing here. Then it came to loop start 2. In the loop start 2, again, we have all this value. So in the decision, for example, if I'm checking if collection 1 dot field 1 equal to collection 2 dot field 2. Okay, and for if someone is telling anything to me, I'm not sure. Or that is a background noise. Okay, so let me put 1 at the bottom to give you this scenario. So loop start 1 happened. So what is there in the first row? What is there in the first loop? 1. Okay. Then loop 2 loops. You know, the second loop started well. Collection 2 will be looped through. Okay. And here in this loop, what is there? What I am checking here? If collection 1 dot field 1 equal to collection 2 dot field 2. So what value is there in collection 1 dot field n? 1 now. 1 is there here. Okay. Anyone is asking something to me? Sagar, you are asking something to me? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you are, because I'm not able to properly hear you. Okay. Okay, so in the collection 1, the 1 came. Then I need to check if 1 is present in any of this. Okay. So now loop start 2, where I'm doing collection 2. So the first row of collection 2 will be checked, which will be 2. So here I am checking if 1 is equal to 2, no, false. Then it will do something, then no, and then do something. Okay, whatever you want to do here in collection calculation, you do that. Now loop n2, it will again come here. Now it will go to the second row, which is 3. If 1 equal to 3, because in collection dot field 1, 1 is only there. 1 equal to 3, no. Then it will continue till the end of the loop. So here it will get 1 equal to 1 here, and it will go take the yes path. Now loop end. Now it will see that loop has ended. Now it will continue to loop end 1, and then it will go to loop start 1 here. Now the first is executed, then it will come to second. Now the 2 will again be searched 7 times in the collection 2 in this part. Similarly, 56 will be searched 7 times in the collection 2, and then the last item will also be searched 7 times in the collection 2. You are able to have an idea what will happen in a nested loop? Or any confusion here? Hello? Okay, so anyway, let's not be, much more confused about what is a nested loop and all. This is something you can take as an extension of loop. It is not that you may be using this more or something. I'm just telling you that something like this is possible. Okay, loop inside a loop. So what I want you guys to do is, without being much confused today, whatever assignments I have provided you, try to do that. In the assignment 2, maybe you'll be able to find an application of nested loop, or if you want to try something by yourself, then do that. In the next class, we are going to talk about the solution, and that time we are going to talk in detail about how to approach this, how to use a nested loop. We'll talk about solution. Okay. don't be confused about not understanding the whole concept and forgetting the basics and all. Okay, so this is what can be a scenario. Just try it out. We'll see about the solution. We'll discuss about all the solution. Okay, make sense? Or if you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay, fine then. Okay, so now that we're done with the Excel sheet example, okay. One more thing, before going, if the one we're talking about, the collection manipulation, right? There's an action called collection manipulation utility. So there are two. So all this collection, to work upon this collection, we have few of the business object. One is collection, which is a internal business object, and this is something which is provided by Blue Prism only. Okay, so this is a collection. This is provided by Blue Prism, which is internal business object. However, you can also import a VBO that I was talking about, and that is called utility collection manipulation, which provides all this action to work upon the collection. Okay, so if you have some time, just explore a little bit. All of this we are going to use in the next class. So this is solely for working upon the collections. Okay, fine. Now that the next topic should ideally be the VBO, but before VBO there are few of the stuff that I want to discuss. One of them is sending an automated email through Gmail, so that we'll be exploring another VBO through that. So we'll send automated email through Gmail, and we'll explain about another stage today called the process stage. This stage is, we have not discussed the process stage. So we'll talk about this, how to use the process stage, and we'll talk about how to send an email. So first, let me tell you how to send an email, because we are not going to send an email through Gmail. So there can be multiple ways to send an email through Blue Prism. One is go to gmail.com website. Okay. So you can go to gmail.com website in the browser. So this example, this is something we'll be covering in the web automation. This is something we'll be covering in the web automation, and where we'll go to the gmail.com, then providing the username, password, and all of that stuff. However, Blue Prism directly provides us a VBO to work upon and send email, and that is something that we are going to discuss today. So let me just okay, fine. So without going to gmail.com directly, without going to gmail.com, then enter your username, then enter your password, then click on compose an email, write everything in the, to, then from, and then your subject and the description, everything, then click on the send button. We can do all of this through web application automation. That is something which we'll be discussing later. But let's explore the VBO that Blue Prism provides us to send the email, where we don't need to go through all of that, but we can directly use the VBO to send email, without doing anything about that. So basically, we'll be using around 3 or 4 stages, and we can send automated email. So why is sending automated email important? Let me tell you that. Because there will be a lot of applications, there will be a lot of scenario where you want to send email. For example, the Excel sheet that we are working upon, or any other report system that you're working upon. After completion of a report, you want to send an automated email that you want to send an automated email to all the stakeholders. So how will you go about that? So there will be a lot of scenario where upon completion of something, or if you are monitoring Blue Prism, for example, and if something goes down, if you want to send a mail to yourself, or if a process completes in the Blue Prism, you want to send a mail to yourself that okay, this is a notification that your process has been completed. So there can be hundreds of use cases of sending automated email, and we'll talk about that today. So there are two parts again, sending email through normal system like Gmail, Yahoo, and all of that stuff, whatever email client you have. These are one part, and sending email through Outlook. So these two are like different. Okay, so the Vivio that we are going to use for Gmail, Yahoo, and all of this stuff is different from what you are going to use for Outlook. So first, let's talk about how to send a email in Gmail. Okay, and this is not a part of object also, so that is the reason I'm explaining it now only. This is something which you can do it instantly. Okay, just one minute. Okay, so let me create a new process called Gmail Automation 7. Also, we'll talk about how to encrypt the username and password today, because we are going to use the username and password to log into Gmail, and we cannot store the username and password in plain text, right? I cannot store my username and password in normal text like abc@gmail.com, because these are very sensitive data. So we'll talk about how to encrypt the username and password so that it will not be read by any normal like human being or by a system, or it cannot be hacked easily. Okay. So to send email using Gmail, you need to do one of the configuration in your email, otherwise it will not work. For example, in my Gmail, I have made the configuration. So you have to go to your account, then Google account, I guess. Wait, let me check. Yeah, you have to go to Google account. After you log in, you have to go to Google account. After that, you have to go to sign in and security. And if you scroll down, there will be something called allow less secure apps. Okay, this is off now. So the description says some apps and devices use less secure sign-in technology, which will leave your account, and all of this risk profile Gmail talks about. So normally, if you have also authenticated when you sign into a third-party website, you can sign in through Gmail or Facebook, right? So there you authenticate Gmail to sign in. But here, because Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, UiPath, from any tool you are trying to send an email through Gmail, all of these are third-party tools. Okay, so these are not like trusted tools, added by Gmail. So you have to add device and all of that. So wait, you can basically add the trusted device and add the trusted apps and everything. But this is something that you are doing for the first time, so you have to make it on. You have to allow less secure apps on, because Gmail thinks that any third-party tool, apart from its own and verified device, wherever it is actually approved signing, approved security, apart from that, everything else is less secure. So it does not allow other application to automate its Gmail process if you do not make this allow less secure MS on. So this is one of the settings, one of the configuration you need to do before Blue Prism can send email through your Gmail. Okay, so this is something what I have done. Okay, so I got a mail also don't recognize this activity. If someone else is doing for you, then you can switch it off. You will get a mail like this if you are doing access for less secure apps has been turned on, something like this. Okay. So once you do this configuration, then let's send this email. But before that, we need to import a VBO. So go to File, then go to Import, Browse, then BPA Object Email POP3 SMTP. This is something you have to import for that mail program to work. POP3 SMTP. So what is POP3 SMTP? These are the so I cancel that because I have already imported. Okay, so you have to import it, otherwise it will not work for you. POP3 SMTP is the technology that is the protocol, I would say. POP3 SMTP. This is the protocol that is used by email clients to send email. So POP3 is the post office protocol, and SMTP is the simple mail transfer protocol. Like you have FTP for file transfer protocol, HTTP for sending data in the website, which is hypertext transfer protocol. So there are a lot of protocols. Okay, so one of those protocols is POP3 SMTP, which will be used for sending email. This will be basically talking with the email server. Okay, response and request from the email server, and which is POP3 SMTP. So this is something you need to import before you can start working upon. If you are not importing, then that is fine. You have to go to gmail.com, then provide username, provide password. That is also we are going to see when we talk about the web automation part. For now, we are going to use the the VBO, and we'll see how easy it is when we use the VBO. Okay. So what is the first step that we need to perform when sending an email? The first thing we'll be configuring our email system. We'll be providing the username, password, and all of that stuff, right? So drag and drop on action stage. So any VBO that you want to use, always remember you'll be doing that in action stage only. Double click and click on the POP3 SMTP, email POP3 SMTP, and action is configure. First, we are going to configure the email. Initially, let's see how to send email through normal plain text. Then after the completion of this sending email, I'll show you how to encrypt the data of username and password or any client sensitive data. There will be a lot of client sensitive data which normally is risk of it will be at risk for data breaching or something. All of that you can encrypt all the username, password, and all the sensitive data you can encrypt. We'll see how we'll be storing that in the encryption vault, and we'll be using that. From now on, we'll be using normal username and password. So here either you can use directly your password and here directly your username, but I'll take two data items for that, username and password. So for example, username, data type as text, and my username. Yeah.
So the thing that you're doing right now, the configuration of Gmail or any email provider, would that be a one-time activity?
Yeah. No. One time.
You're using a different Gmail or email account.
See, every time you create a workflow, so for this task you need to configure the email here. Okay. Every time you are preparing a new process for sending an email, you have to configure your email system.
Okay. So we cannot save and keep it somewhere. So we could just drag it.
Sorry.
We can't do it. We can't do it. Right? We can't save and keep it somewhere. But we can use it for future purposes.
Okay. Yeah. So, no, we can make some workaround about that. So what we can do is there will be few process we can we can consider as reusing the process. Normally the process, so this process stage is there, right? So normally we won't use that for reusing the process. So for example, you are telling that I'll be creating a process where I'll be keeping this configure only, okay? And every time I'll hit that process, my configuration will be automatically done. Are you asking something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So we can do something like that. Yes, we can do. So using a process stage, we can do. And there's something I wanted to discuss about today. When I started, I talked that we can discuss about the process today. But again, that is not the primary aim where the process stage is used. So process stage will be used basically to, if you want to pass some output. So for example, this Gmail process is producing some output, and I'm going to pass that output to another process and use that output there as an input. Okay, output from one process will be used as input in another process. Normally in those scenarios, we'll be using the process stage, but again, the process stage will execute your process. So obviously, if you are naming this process, the Gmail process, obviously it will be execute the process. So yes, we'll be able to do something like that. So I'll try this, after this class sometime I'll try to reuse components of the process, and if that is possible, I'll show that to you tomorrow. Okay, anyway, we are going to talk about the process. If that time also we can discuss about this scenario. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
But again, if it is different, email provider. For example, for Gmail, the set of operation, the server name, server port will be going to different. However, for Yahoo email, everything is going to different. For Yahoo, the port number change, the server name change, everything changes. So you can reuse only if you are, going to send data through Gmail. You can reuse the Gmail component and all of that stuff. Okay. Okay. So username and okay. Any other doubts here? Any other clarification if anybody needs here? Fine, right? Okay. So again, there are a lot of stuff which you may not be 100% clear about, and we are going to discuss in detail in upcoming class. This is just we are at the very beginning stage of this training. Okay. So let's name it as username and data type as text, and I'm providing my email ID. Okay, my email ID I provided, and let's name it as password, and the data type is what? Obviously password only. Okay, and I'll be providing my password here. I hope it is typing all the black dots only. So okay, so let's use the username here, drag and drop the username here, drag and drop the password here, and the POP3 server. So what is the POP3 server name for a particular email client? That is something you can get in the Google only. So when you go to, you can Google for anyone. For example, Gmail POP server settings or something. So you can see the SMTP port name is smtp.gmail.com, port is 587, and so let's use this smtp.gmail.com for SMTP port. So we have something called SMTP server. So we'll use this smtp.gmail.com. POP3 server, we'll use pop.gmail.com. pop.gmail.com. POP3 port is 995 and SMTP port is 587. Okay. So all the information that you need, so there are more than 10 or 15 service provider who help them to send or email. So you can just search their settings, email setting. So normally Gmail is a very famous one, so you just directly get in the Google, but for others you may have to go to their official website and check all the details. So I heard there is something by IBM also, IBM Lotus or something. In one of the other bets, someone was telling that how will I send automated email from this tool and all. So whatever tool your company is using for sending email, whatever configuration they're using, you need to ask them about the email configuration, and you have to use the same steps here. Okay. And POP3 use SSL. Yeah, this is true, and this is also true because we are going to make it secure. So use SSL. SSL is secure socket layer. The SSL that we use, this is your secure socket layer. So this HTTPS you see here, right? So this S stands for your SSL. So basically HTTPS. So it makes everything secure. So we are going to use, when we send the email, we are going to make it secure. Okay. So that is the reason I'm putting SSL as true. Okay. Any doubts in the configuration part? You'll be able to configure other service provider also, right? Yahoo Mail and everything. You'll be able to should be able to configure here. Okay. So now that we have configured it, now let's send some SMS. Let's send some email. So configuration is done. Now I'll drag and drop another action called send email. And here I'll choose the same POP3 SMTP and I'll send message. I'll send an email. So let's do one thing. Let's send to me only. I'm going to send to myself from my own account so that I don't have to log into another Gmail account and all of that stuff. Subject is, let's say, sent on 7th July.
Prem, this is Gitika. So can we send email to multiple recipients?
Multiple recipient, wait. This is a text only, so I'm not sure if we'll be putting, something like this. The email address of the recipient to address multiple recipient, use the format. Yeah, we can send. See here in the 2 it is there. Okay. The email address to address multiple recipient, you have to separate them by comma or by comma only. So if you want to send multiple, then you have to put comma here. Okay. So for example, this is my email ID. So, you have to put comma here. So basically this is my email ID. So let me go here and if it is directly another email ID, so you can put a comma here and second at gmail.com, comma third at gmail.com, all of that. So anything, whatever list you want, you can separate that through, I separated that to semicolon. It is comma. You understood, right? You need to separate that through comma only.
Yeah, it's clear. Thanks.
Yeah. So most of the stuffs are written here in the the email address of the recipient to address multiple recipients. Use the format John Smith as example, comma, whatever you have, henryjones@example.com and all of that stuff. So separate by comma for multiple this one. Or what you can do is, okay, let's not talk about that. That will not be efficient. Okay, so sent on 7th July, 10:50, let's make by the time we finish it. And body is whatever you want to send here. Sending it to test email features or something. Okay, and attachment. So for now, let's not send any attachment. Body is HTML, let's make it false. So you can send HTML email here. Why? Why do we send HTML email? You must have received a lot of, beautiful email like this. So see here, the Google has sent me an email. Google access for less secure apps than all of this stuff. So how would you make it beautiful? How would you make this text? How would you include this logo? How would you make it bold? And then how would you put a hyperlink here? So all of this is not possible through normal email. Normal email will contain text only. To make your email beautiful, to beautify your email and put all the hyperlink, bold, italic, and any customization you can imagine, you can do that using your HTML format. So we'll see an example here. For example, for now, let's see if send SMS is working or not. And after that, we'll send a HTML email, and maybe we'll attach 2-3 files to see if we are able to send attachment correctly or not. Okay. So once this is done, I think that's it. We can send an email with this only because we have configured and we are sending only. There is nothing much. So there are some errors here. So invalid expression for SMTP server and POP3 server, yes, because I think we have not included double quotes here. So all the text you need to encapsulate within double quotes, okay? Otherwise, you'll get some error. Reset here. And yeah, okay, everything is fine. Let me send the email. Okay, so let's go back to the email and see. See, I got this email sent on 7th July 10:50 something, sending it to test the email feature. So this is how you can send an email. Okay, now let's see, how we can. Okay, before going to sending attachment and email, can anyone here tell me how can we make it dynamic, the time? So can we make it dynamic? So every time I'm hard coding it, is there any way to make it dynamic? Like I want to track what exact time I am sending the email. Any answer here? How is there any way you can make it dynamic? What time you are sending the email? So basically, you can make it dynamic by using this. Go to date function, and there is something called now, today, and all of that. So what today gets the current date as a date value. So if you want to send 7th July, you can use today function. Okay, now gets the current date and time as date time value. Okay, so you can use now as a function. So how will you use sent on, for example, sent on like this, and here you can put a concatenation operator, and you can do it now, and so it will send the. It should send current data. Anyway, so let's send an HTML email and few attachments. So how will you send an HTML email? First thing, we'll make it true that body is HTML is true, and this one here, this body, we need to write some HTML code here. So people who are not aware about how an HTML page works and all, there is no need to worry. Normally, in most of the company, where if you are trying to automate some email process, there will be, you can ask someone to get you the HTML content of the email. So they will provide you that. You just need to include it here. You as a Blue Prism developer, analyst, or manager, you don't have to worry about how the HTML code is written, HTML tags are written, and all of that stuff. Otherwise, you can go to HTML template email or something, and you can generate some HTML code, and you can use that. So for example, I'll use some basic HTML code from here. Either you can copy some HTML code, something like this, and you can use. So these are not proper. So you can copy from here. Let's copy from here HTML. This HTML we want to send, and obviously we have to wrap it inside double quotes only. And validate, it should be fine, obviously. And so we are sending a title is not needed, and head is also not needed. On the body, we are sending 2 paragraphs. This is a very simple HTML document. It has only 2 paragraphs. So let me make it red. I'm just putting some, decoration around here. Okay, so this will be red, and this will be like 2 paragraphs only. And let's make it bold instead of paragraph. Okay, so that's it. So let's send this. Okay, this is the HTML content. Also, apart from HTML, let's send few attachments. So for attachment, as you can see, attachment is a collection. So we need to send a collection here. So let's create a new collection and double click, and let's name it files, for example. Add a new field called path and give the give the type as text, and we are going to add few paths here. So let's send 2 files. So first file path, for example, let's send this image, and let's send this error.txt. So right click, copy as path, shift right click, copy as path, provide the first path. Make sure that you don't put the double quotes here. So see, there are 2 texts here. Normal is the normal text where you put the double quotes, and there is something called plain text. If it is plain text, you should not put double quotes, because double quotes will also be considered as a part of the text only. So I'm removing the double quotes. So error.txt, and the second one is I'm trying to send the this image. Copy as path, and here we'll send that file. Okay, one image and one text file will send as an attachment. Okay, so HTML content with attachment. So let's send it now. Okay, so our email got sent. Now let's check our, see here, sent on. It is getting the date from the now, and 5:27 it gives. I'll tell you why it's 5:27. This I'll come to this, but where is the attachment? So HTML is fine. HTML content came here. See, this is bold letter, and it came with red letter. It has 2 paragraphs. Attachment didn't came because most probably we did not assign the collection in the send message. So you have to assign the collection so that it can use the collection. So let's assign file collection so that it can send all the files. And let's make it a little bit, so let's send I'm sending a list of value here. So don't worry about this HTML and something. You don't have to do anything here. So I'm assigning the collection here. So it should send a list, a list in the email now. So now let's send it. So let's go ahead and check. And you see a list here. One is this, one is this. This is a list with the dot, all of this. So because I used a list, and 2 attachments. Okay, and this sent on this date, your current date, 7/7/2018, and 5:28:47. I'll talk about this, why it is 5:28:47, not 11 o'clock in our time. But before that, any doubts here? Any doubts in the email part? Because this is something is very realistic when it comes to be used in the real-time scenario. Okay, sending email. Let me know if you have any doubt.
Is it to the attaching the file scenario again? I mean, how do we?
You want me to explain it again? Yeah, okay. So when you are trying to attach a few files, so it says that the data type is collection. Okay, so we need to create a collection of items that we want. Items. So you can obviously send 1, 2, or any number of items, whatever Gmail allows you. And in the files collection, I have added a field called path. Okay, I have added a field called path, and this is a type of text. And this path I am populating with whatever file I want to send. One is your error.txt, one is this ui1.png. I can send multiple files. One is PNG file, one text file I'm sending here. I can include here any number of rows here, and all of that will be sent as an attachment. And this particular file I am assigning here as a collection. That collection, whatever I created outside here, I'm just dragging and dropping and using it here. Okay? You got the point? You got, or you want me to explain? Okay, fine. Any other doubts here?
In collection, we can provide external paths.
You are selling that. I didn't understand. So this is yeah. So path is a field I added, and I provided the paths of the all the attachment that I want to send, wherever their location, and then I just included the collection here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to, okay, before that, why it sent as 5:30 here? Why it sent as 5:28? Any idea? Anybody? Why is this time 5:28 here, not 11 o'clock? So it's a very big part of Blue Prism why it does that, and it has a lot of effects on the Blue Prism tool. This date why it said like that. So the time zone that we work upon in the IST is not sure if I can show it here. See here, what is my time zone? UTC plus 5 hours 30 minutes. Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, and New Delhi, it's UTC plus 5 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, and if you add this time 5:30 plus 5:30, how much? 11 o'clock. So Blue Prism always runs on the UTC time zone. We are running on the IST time zone here. So Blue Prism is not specific to which country it is getting used. It is not specific to IST. It is not specific to whatever time, German's time or nothing like that. It is a fixed timeline, and that time is UTC time. So I'm not sure what is the full form. Universal time something. Coordinated universal time. Okay. Universal time. Okay. So Blue Prism always takes the UTC time so that it always remains generic. So whenever you are trying to send anything, and you are assuming that Blue Prism is using the time, always remember that from our time zone, it is always running 5 hours and 30 minutes behind. Okay, and this particular effect is where we are going to see when we are going to schedule a new task. So for example, I'm scheduling a new bot to be run at a specific time, but I am scheduling as the bot to be run at 12 o'clock. But if I put the time as 12, it will not run as 12 o'clock because it is following the UTC time zone. So always remember this, Blue Prism, any time related stuff that you are doing, it is following the UTC time zone, and based on that, you have to recalculate whatever time you want because it is running 5 hours 30 minutes behind our time zone, and based on that, you calculate your time and put a time in place, whatever you want to do. Okay? Again, we are going to see more examples of this when we schedule, when we are going to schedule a few of the tasks. We are going to schedule some of the bots to be run at a particular time, and we'll see how it affects the UTC time zone affects us, how we can readjust the time zone to be run, in hours, whatever way we want. I got something here. Once this session is over, can you upload this video yourself so that once we try and we can the process if we have any? Sure. I will upload this video, right now because I'm not sure if I have anything to do. I have another class in some time, maybe I guess after 2 hours, but right now I can upload this video so that you can go through this. Also, okay, but okay, let's, if you have some time, I can talk about the encryption. Let's do one thing, okay, let's talk about the encryption tomorrow because these two, username and password, these are like plain text, these are like normal text. And normally in the real-time scenario, we will not rely upon a developer. So for example, if you are the project manager or the tech lead of the company, and you have got the username and password for company's some sensitive information, and developers want to access some files after that is logged in. So would you distribute all the username and password to each of the developer that, okay, you take this, you take the username and password and access this? No, that is not the way. What you as a, at a senior position will do is that you'll find a way to encrypt the username and password, store it in a folder kind of structure, assign it a group, and that, reference you provide to the developer that this is the reference, you use this. You will not be able to see, what I did with the username and password. You just use this and they will be using that. And that encryption is something we'll see and how we can provide that encrypted file to or encrypted label to the developer team or anyone who is interested or who has some work and they can work upon this. So this is something we'll see tomorrow, how to encrypt the username and password. And also, one more thing we're going to see is the process, how to use the process and how one process can communicate with another process. This is something we are going to see. And if you people are able to, if any of you are able to, if most of you basically I'll say are able to try something, assignment 1 or assignment 2, then we can discuss about the solution of one of the assignments. And the second, if you are free today, then you can try one of the assignments. And I'll write a detailed description what this assignment is about, what exactly needs to be done, and you can try that. If you are not successful, then let me know tomorrow. We'll discuss about the solution. If you need more time to solve the assignment, also let me know. We can discuss about the solution in the next weekend. Okay, whatever is by you guys only.
Prem, Sagar, yeah?
Yes, Sagar?
If I recall correctly, you said that an output of one process is actually an input for another process.
Okay.
Right. So because when you create a process, you're basically creating a bot in an RP language or a Blue Prism language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can one bot communicate with another bot?
No. See. The bot is a process only. The whatever bot you are telling, the bot is a whole workflow only. The workflow is called a bot. Okay. So when they communicate between each other, what does it mean? That it is taking some input and using it as, taking the output and, using it as input in other bots. So we can consider, for example, this particular Gmail, 7 is one bot. And for example, there is something called Yahoo, we are automating some Yahoo stuff in another bot. And what we want is that, for example, if this is not the case here, if this email system is producing an output that will be used by Yahoo email. So this is something called communicating between two bots. Okay, there is nothing extraordinary here. When you are creating a bot, the bot is a whole collection of whatever is linked together, a process, object, and what all modules are related. That is called one bot. Another bot can be, another which is automating another module. Now, when we are talking, these two bots are talking to each other, it means that these two modules that we're working upon are sharing information between each other. You got my point? So it means that module 1 is creating some output and module 2 is consuming some output because data is the information here, nothing else. You are able to understood my point here. Because there is talking between two bots mean like nothing else. Sharing of information is what we, call as two bots can communicate between each other. It means that two bots can share information between each other. And yes, that is possible. So again, we'll talk about all of this process and a lot of stuff we have not discussed. Till now, we have also not discussed the Object Studio altogether. So we'll talk about how object and process share data between each other also. I'm receiving incoming email. I want a standard reply to be sent with BP2 with two types of reply based on email address. I am receiving an incoming emails and I want a standard reply to be sent with BP tool. I'm not sure how this will be done. Give me some time to think about. So here the question, what Arun is asking is, Arun is using Yahoo and Gmail, for example, and what he wants to do is, when a new email comes to the Yahoo and Gmail, correct me if I am interpreting it correctly, your requirement, Arun. So when he is getting email in Yahoo and Gmail, based on the email he is receiving, he wants to automatically reply back to those emails, and it can be two different reply. If it is Yahoo, it is a different reply. If it is Gmail, if it is a different reply automatically. So yeah. What I'm thinking is everything is fine, but how will Blue Prism tool trigger? How will Blue Prism tool know that you are receiving an email in your Gmail? So this is something which you can, obviously do in the Gmail directly. Gmail configuration you can do, directly. You can set reply, but using Blue Prism, how will you track that? Okay, maybe something like this you can try. What you can do is, you can try to list messages. For example, list messages will, I guess it will give you all the messages in your email. And how, so the first thing here is you need to be, your Blue Prism tool needs to know that you have received an new email, right? That is the first thing. That is the most difficult thing. How will your Blue Prism tool know remotely that in your Gmail account you have received a new email? There is no way to get that. So one thing I can say is that the way to know is that if you are listing all of the messages, for example, this is list all email, and you are storing that in a collection, for example, email collection, and you are somehow finding a way to constantly read through this collection. So for example, this email that you got here, subject from name data sent, so you'll get one email here, okay, with the subject name address, and all the emails, for example, there are suppose 20 emails there, so you'll get 20 emails here, and you can constantly query to Gmail, and the next time for example there is 21 emails in the collection. Now the value of the total number of email is 21. It means that you have received a new email, right? So now in the new email you have to fetch the new email, from address you are getting, right? Here you are getting the from address of the email. Now what you can do is emails.from email. So you can now send a mail to, but it is going to be difficult. Now again you are going to send email, send a message to, you can put to this collection that you have, email.from address. To this particular address, it means that this particular address should contain the latest from address, for the latest mail. So you can put an automatic reply here. But obviously you can do that. The most important and the resource consuming task will be to constantly, query your email every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes to check, are you receiving any new email? And it has to be run 24/7. So if it is a requirement, then you can go ahead and do that. But again, if you can do the same thing using Gmail application only, you can go to Gmail and maybe do some settings which will do a auto reply to all the email. But if it is the requirement, then I believe you can do something like this. You get all the list of emails, then after 10 minutes or 5 minutes at a regular interval, check all the emails again. If the number of emails is increased by 1 or 2, that means that you have received 1 or 2 new emails. That time, this emails will give you, okay, there is some background noise. And again, you can fetch the from name from here and try to send an email to that particular one. Try all this. So there can be hundreds of applications how you want to use the email system. But I believe this is something which you can try. Okay. So obviously the requirement here will be action, then email, then I believe one will be a decision stage which needs to compare collections here previous. So you need to find a way to store the previous collection and new collection to compare. Okay, maybe you want to, before this collection updates after the 5 minutes, you have to copy to a new collection all the old data. You got my point? So that you can check the latest collection with the old collection, and then you can send an email. So it's a complex one, but I believe this can be done. Again, this is going to be time consuming. Before, not only time, this is going to be resource consuming, because every 5 or 10 minutes you need to hit the Gmail server, get all the emails, hit the Gmail server, get all the emails, compare, and this is to run 24/7. And again, you are saying that you will do it for Yahoo also, and based on if it is Gmail or Yahoo, you want to send automated reply based on that. But again, this can be done, but you have to put some effort into this. You need to try it out how it happens, and you need to figure out. All the components are there here. Okay, does it make sense whatever I explained? Okay. Okay, any more doubts? Also about PDF import. Are you saying you are trying to send the PDF in the email, or what you are saying, Arun? Are you trying to send PDF, import PDF? Are you trying to attach PDF in the email, or PDF import means which one? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Can you read data from PDF? Yes, we can read data from PDF, but that is something, that Vibio is not directly provided by Blue Prism, the PDF Vibio. Okay, the PDF Vibio is something which is not provided by Blue Prism, but I guess that it is possible. I have not extract it and put it in Excel. How will you put you want to put all the PDF data in the Excel, because Excel will be a row-wise data and PDF is a bunch of data. So because for banking process PDF is wisely used. Yeah, so that is fine. PDF is something I'll check how PDF is handled by Blue Prism. What are the ways? Because what I see here, I don't see any PDF Vibio here. We have the Word and Excel Vibio, but I'll just look into that how PDF is handled by Blue Prism. What I know is, yeah, it is possible. Maybe we need some connectors. I'll see into that. But one thing what I'm not sure is, if you want to get all the PDF data to Excel, then how will you maintain the formatting? What data should go from which part of PDF to which cells of the Excel? That is going to be challenging, because normally people will be, if you want to do that, then I guess you must have your requirement very clear. Then you can do something, because Excel is row-wise and column-wise data. However, PDF and Word are a bunch of data. So maybe if you want to read the first row of the PDF and put it in the first cell, then, for example, if there is a credit card incoming data process. So yeah, again, where we index the data. Okay, so let's discuss about this then put them in. Yeah, so all of this is possible. Okay, putting them in a specific folder and everything is possible in the utility file management. But only thing what I worry is how you get data in the PDF and put in the Excel sheet. So what you can do is, for example, you want to search all the maybe credit card numbers, and you know that credit card numbers start with, for example, 4701 or something. So you can search throughout the PDF, go for the credit card number, copy the credit card number and put it in the Excel sheet row or Excel sheet column. That is something, I think that is something like that use case is possible. But again, reading everything from the PDF and we're not sure where to put in the Excel sheet. So if you are clear on your requirement that what goes into an Excel sheet from the PDF, then we can see how it works. Is that available in AA or UiPath? So it's not about automation anywhere or UiPath. Okay, so maybe I don't understand the requirement much. What you are telling me is that this is a PDF, for example. Okay, this is a PDF. So, like, what are you trying to store in the? Because this is a bunch of data, right? Like, how will this data go to which column of the Excel sheet, which row of the Excel sheet? If we can specify the rules and everything, because PDF is a bunch of data with images and everything. But again, this image is something we cannot store in the Excel sheet or something. So there can be very limited stuff that you should plan to do with the PDF to, Excel. For example, you want to store where the line number starts with 2, then we can search throughout the PDF where it starts with 2 and maybe copy till a point of time and get this data and store it in one of the row. This kind of operation we can plan to do. Yes, the requirement is clear. Okay, so Arun, let's do one thing. Let's discuss about okay, so what exactly is the requirement? Let's discuss about offline, okay? What exactly you are trying to achieve using PDF, because everything cannot be done from PDF to Excel, because this is not the because every application is built to store a separate set of data. Excel is used to store the kind of very symmetric data. For example, if you want to store employee information like employee name, address, and everything, and PDF is used to store a bunch of data like this. But I need to understand what exactly you are trying to take from PDF and store it in the Excel sheet. And again, every manual task that you are doing, every manual task cannot be automated. So whenever a requirement comes to you for automation, you need to underline that what part of the process can be automated and what part of the process cannot be automated. So there is a fine line between this, and there are a lot of tasks. The manual part is going to remain forever in the industry until and unless the artificial intelligence and machine learning is 100% successful. Till that time, we need to adjust. Few part of the process is still going to be done in a manual way, okay? And most of the majority of them can be automated. So Arun, let's discuss what exactly you are trying to say, your requirement is, and we can talk about that. Okay then, so if you don't have any doubts, we can continue tomorrow, okay? And I'll upload this video in the afternoon. If I get some time today after 12, I'll upload. Otherwise, in the evening, I'll upload it. So Mahesh here. So are you facing that issue with that launch.bat file with the Blue Prism? If that's so, you can let me know. I can connect with you. The launch.bat file that I have provided you. Others can just drop off from the call. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prem.
Yeah, thanks. Mahesh, you are able to hear me? I'm not sure. I guess Mahesh is speaking something, but I'm not able to hear him.
Okay, Prem, do you actually conduct UiPath training as well?
No, but who asked the question? Sagar.
Yes, yes.
No, UiPath, yeah, we provide UiPath training, but again, the batch is not scheduled currently. We'll schedule a batch sometime, and I'll let you know. So UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and your Blue Prism. This three gets conducted. Okay, but UiPath is something you should not take a separate training for UiPath. You are learning Blue Prism, that is fine, but you should plan to learn UiPath by yourself. I'll provide you all the reference and everything. You can learn that by yourself. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, like, I have not gone through the UiPath Academy portal, but is it very user friendly, the tutorials and everything?
Yeah, it's very user friendly.
And
the tutorial is good.
How about AA?
See, all these tools are like very user friendly only. What I believe is on the Automation Anywhere, I guess you need to write some scripting or something, JavaScript or VB script, something like that. But again, all of these are very user friendly. These are the whatever automation tool we are using. Then these are the very simple ones. There is nothing extra. Now also you are saying Blue Prism is easy. So you just need to understand the tool. So it is going to be same experience with Automation Anywhere and UiPath, but the way they work is different. So, but it is not going to be any difficult. Okay. So if you are planning to go between Automation Anywhere and UiPath, you should go ahead with UiPath because there is a lot of demand coming in UiPath because the tool is providing some kind of 2 months of free experience to users. So a lot of companies are able to try and get their hands on the tool. So it works with a different architecture. So you can try with UiPath. Then later you can go ahead with Automation Anywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
When can you expect the assignment? Yeah. Tell me.
There was some requirement coming up from my company. They were just asking if you can ask your trainer that are they actually coming up with more cognitive RPA training or something like that. Even I don't know what that stuff is.
So cognitive RPA, the problem with the cognitive RPA is the cognitive RPA is not mature yet. Okay. So specifically in Blue Prism, the cognitive RPA I would say is not that great. So what you can do is, so cognitive RPA means integration of your artificial intelligence and machine learning into the tool. So as I was telling today, the PDF operation to Arun, right? So a lot of these stuffs can be done using AI and ML, and this tool may not be able to perform that. In AI and ML needs to, understand what is happening. They will be able to take decision based on that. So currently, I would say that if you want to leverage the AI and ML capability, what I would suggest your company to do is you can use a lot of the framework that is provided by Google and Amazon. For example, your TensorFlow is something is there. TensorFlow, and this is by Google. This is a machine learning, open source machine learning, and this is for everyone. Okay, TensorFlow, and there is a lot of like Python packages. I'll let you know. So what you can do is you can create your all the machine learning related tasks here. All the machine learning and artificial intelligence. You should not try to do that inside the RPA tool. You keep that as a separate module, and you outsource that to people who are good at that. You as a RPA developer should not try to integrate machine learning and artificial intelligence by yourself. If it is inside the tool, then that is fine. You can use that. But currently, as I'm saying, these are not part of the tool. In the future, with Blue Prism and UiPath and all, they are integrating few of the features, but this will not be full-fledged feature. Again, your outsourced, open source outside library will still be better than what you can do with a RPA, AI, and ML. So what you can do is you can do all of the tasks, whatever is needed for your machine learning and artificial intelligence outside, and all this task you can trigger from your Blue Prism tool. For example, I can trigger for my Blue Prism tool what happens inside a machine learning, but the machine learning task will be done using some third-party framework like TensorFlow, or there are a lot by Amazon. You can again use a lot of open source network like OpenCV. OpenCV, this is for a lot. This has like thousands of libraries, and you can use all of this for AI and ML. You can use this to do your task and then connect it from your RPA tool. You can just trigger these files so that this will do the work for you, and whatever output they will produce, you can consume that. You got my point, what I'm trying to say? Hello?
Yes, Prem. Sagar here.
Yeah, Sagar. So as of now in 2018, the tools are not that smart enough to integrate AI and ML. All the Blue Prism, UiPath, and everything. So if you want to do all this complex stuff, then you can rely on the outside library of good companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and all of that, and you can use that to enhance your features. Okay. So for example, you can do a face detection system using Blue Prism. Only thing is that your Blue Prism tool will not do. You have to do you have to write a Python code for that, and you can trigger the Python code from your Blue Prism tool, and that you can trigger that Python tool from Blue Prism tool, and maybe that will do a face recognition for you. Okay, so all of that you can do.
Okay.
Okay. Okay then. Thanks a lot, guys. So Mahesh, would you like to, because I need a little break now. Maybe we can connect after 30 minutes or something, and I'll show you how to use those files. Okay, I'll ping you in WhatsApp. Okay, and yeah, Arun also, I'll call you about the requirement. Okay then. Thanks, guys. Bye.